Amid ongoing issues with Chicago's public transportation system, an investigation into Dorval Carter's schedule reveals the CTA president has spent more time traveling to other transit systems than visiting the city's CTA train stations and bus terminals. Manny Ramos, investigative reporter with Block Club Chicago, joins us live to discuss his findings. Manny, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me on.
You've been working on this story for a minute, haven't you?
I have. We first started trying to get these records back in September. We faced a lot of roadblocks and delays, but we were finally able to get it, early in the spring.
You talk about the roadblock. CTA itself gave you a roadblock, didn't it?
They have, and yeah, we had to reach out to the public access counselor, which is an office within the Attorney General's office, to ask them for help because CTA wouldn't provide these records to us after numerous attempts.
What is the issue here? Now, in your article, you say 3 months out of the year he spent somewhere else, even out of the country, right?
Yeah, so what we found is that President Dorval Carter Jr., president of the CTA, travels frequently out of town. And, we can find him in places like Spain and Puerto Rico, New Zealand, Australia. And he was gone a total of 97 days out of the 345 days that we looked at. This accounts to about 28% of his times were outside of a city where, riders were complaining about, reliability issues as well as cleanliness. And the majority of these travels were for an organization that he chaired between 2022 and 2023. That organization is the American Public Transportation Association, which is a nonprofit advocacy group that, looks to sort of like help and improve transit systems across the world.
Well, what would be his purpose to make these trips to Puerto Rico, to Spain, to New Zealand, to Australia? And how does that help the CTA? And is this normal for someone who's the head of the CTA?
I'm not sure what is normal in this. CTA argues, is that this allows them to sort of connect with other transit agencies across the country as well as across the globe to bring back, good things that they can sort of implement to the city here with CTA, but as well as, lobby with federal regulators or legislatures that are at these events as well. It's mostly for convention purposes. So think about employee development conventions that different industries have. This is similar in scope. The questions, though, that we raise is, while spending 97 days outside of Chicago within a year, he only visited train stations and bus terminals about 9 times during that same period.
So have we seen anything implemented to change the CTA or like the red line and things like that to make it better?
There was no tangible evidence that the CTA provided. They did point to the fact that there were additional federal funding dollars that came primarily through the COVID pandemic aid relief that was really big over the last few years. They also pointed to the fact that Australia, they were able to visit a control system out there that they hope to implement those procedures to a new West Side facility that they're in the process of building.
Well, what is the Mayor Brandon Johnson, saying about this? And I know a lot of older people want him out of the office, right?
Yes. Unfortunately, Mayor Brandon Johnson's office declined to comment for this story. It's one of the numerous, refusals to respond to CTA President Dorval Carter. As far as older people we spoke with a couple who really stressed that, they understand that Carter, needs to take trips to connect with federal legislatures, but, found that the number seemed a little excessive.
So, Manny, what's the upshot of all of this? Carter is still running the CTA despite, older people asking for his resignation. What could happen from your article or out of this whole situation?
Honestly, I'm not sure. Carter has proven himself to be fairly resilient throughout, his tenure here, specifically, coming out of the pandemic when ridership had declined, even when it started picking back up, services have sort of remained stagnant or not improving. And, he seems to have found an ally with Carter or with Mayor Brandon Johnson and some folks within city council. That still doesn't stop several older people as well as state legislators, calling for some changes within the CTA.
Manny Ramos, investigative reporter with Block Club Chicago. Looking forward to see your articles coming up. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you for having me on.